Wasn't he live like 20 minutes ago?
I can't remember. It's all a blur.
I've no idea. I don't even know what's happening anymore.
Yeah, I might have been. Yeah,
You might have been asleep or something.
I might have fallen asleep. Yes.
Yeah. God, so welcome. Like I said, Ian, I gave you an experiment and stuff like that. I've got to
Yes.
ask, mate, how did the whole research thing go? Don't go into detail what you found yet.
Yeah, but it was sort of good. It's interesting because obviously it's a sort of like for a promotion it's only a few years old, So what was it? Details. What was it? There's not overly a lot of detail on it, What was it I found? But yeah, I thought about messaging the promotion themselves to get a bit more information, and I thought that'd be cheating, so I didn't do that. Um, but yeah, but it was good fun, sort of researching and trying to get the sort of with the gist of it all.
Yeah, so for people obviously listening, the context of today's show was how much information can somebody find out on a wrestling promotion by only knowing the name? Because we know, Haney, as wrestling fans, you've got like the three initials, or this, as in this case, it's Win. You've got BCW, obviously, which is obviously near yourself, NGW. There's literally loads.
Yep, there's so many great promotions doing great things in the UK, So um, not one's any better than the other, So most definitely, looking forward to it. See how it sort of goes.
Absolutely. So, but of course, we're going to talk about some general wrestling news as well. But enough rambling on. Let's get into the intro. Now, Haney, I've got to ask. I know you're obviously still feeling a bit ill, but are we surviving?
Just about, yes.
Just about, just about. So let's go. Obviously, we've already introduced ourselves. Everybody knows who we are and stuff like that. But Haney, I mean, how's the week been?
It's been one of the weeks, as I sort of says, work. What was it? Tuesday was fun because obviously, I think I said to you, we went to see the Jim Duggan, which was always good.
Mm-hmm.
Nice night of storytelling and things like that. Got to what was it? Hear some nice fun stories from his career. What was it? He was obviously over. What was it? Doing a little tour. His family was there. I think. What was it? Wife. I think he's got three daughters. Wife and two daughters were over.
Mm-hmm.
So they were there as well. So it was a bit of a family affair. Actually spoke to his wife Deborah. What was it? A little bit. She was obviously. What was it? There to support Jim, and she sort of was behind the sort of merch stand, making sure things were going well. Um, she was really excited about what was it, like the arts and things like that. So obviously that day they had been to Kelvin Grove and been to the Barrel Collection and things like that. So she got to see some of her favourite artworks. Apparently she'd wanted to see for a long time, So paintings and things like that. So that's always good, But was
Mm-hmm.
it? It's interesting meeting people with different hobbies, And Jim was Jim was Jim. He was funny and what was it? Great, He got emotional at times. What was it? Telling some of his stories. So it was a fun night.
What was the biggest, obviously, talking point for you?
Oh, I mean, for me, what was it? What was it called? Which Fiona, my partner, she was quite happy about, is he doesn't like Stone Cold Steve Austin. What was it called? What was it? So that's always a bonus for Fiona. He talked about just sort of stuff, fun stories about Andre and things like that. But yeah, lots of good stories, lots of fun stories from her.
Awesome,
He,
awesome.
spoke a bit about his cancer battles. He's said it 3 times now.
Mm-hmm.
So his initial one was kidney cancer way back in '98. I think it was 97, 98 when his WCW run. So he got a wee bit emotional about that. And then he was talking about he's currently battling prostate cancer, but he's on good medication and things like that. So he's able to do the tours. So that's a really good positive thing. So
Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? I mean, cancer's a big thing, in. I mean, that's a whole debate in itself.
No, no, definitely. What was it called? And basically pointed out to men, not to be stupid. Go out and get what was it checked? Don't be the sort of
Heroes, you think people try to be.
the hero. He also went in and he talked about the sort of story with the sort of Iron Sheik that's anonymous and things like that, and he sort of like obviously he had various versions of it. His version of the story is Sheik asked him for if he was just starting out, asked him for a lift. He could. They were driving through New Jersey. What was it? They were being silly. They were drinking beer. What was it called? Get pulled over to the police. What was it? What was it called? Where he comes from, he says it's allowed. What was it called? He says policeman asked if he had anything. He says he got a wee bit of weed. He said, what was it called? All that was fine. He just confiscated it, took him to the police station, gave him a warning and things like that. Unfortunately, Iron Sheik had what was it? About 3 grams of cocaine on him.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
So Sheik blames Duggan for that, but he basically went and told the story about how it basically killed his career. What was it? Because he was being sort of nurtured to be the next big guy, and what was it called? Back in the day, he was a good guy. Sheik was a bad guy. He said they made the show that night, and then the next day they had to phone Vince and tell him, because his wife. What was it? He told a funny story about how what was it? He phoned his wife. What was it the next morning and told her the story that what was it? That he'd been arrested that night, the night before. What was it called? But it was all good. They made the show, so hopefully people didn't know about it. And his wife says everybody knows about it. So yeah, so he talked about a wee bit of downtime with that. Got into heavy drinking because of it, because he felt like he'd sort of thrown everything away. And eventually, it looked like he was going to be WCW and WWF. I think it was Pritchard phoned him up and says, "Don't do anything stupid. Don't go there," And then he was brought back. But he did sort of say he was never. He was well looked after, but he was never given that opportunity to go forward to the top spot again. When that was really the plan.
Interesting, man.
Yeah,
That's really, really good and stuff like that. Like I say, he's a legend, well respected and stuff like that. As
yeah,
for me, I mean, you probably know. I mean, we've done obviously a lot of shows this week. I mean, Tuesday I spoke to Miss Rebecca from Fight Factory. We had Joe Wade obviously on Wednesday. We had the show for three with three refs, obviously with Scott Bell, Ref Katie, and Ross. And that was
yeah,
really fun because I'm obviously backstage, obviously listening to it and stuff like that. And
yeah.
it's
That
just
was
really good giving somebody a platform, just talking in general.
yeah. Just chewing the fat and getting to know each other, and I was obviously getting to get to see a bit of the camaraderie that goes on. Obviously they're good friends. What was it called? So really good to sort of see.
100%.
Hopefully they get all the success in the world.
100%. And if people want to go check them out, obviously they're all in the YouTube channel, so go watch it. Do you know what I mean? Incredible show. We have got another one coming up on April 3rd with BWR, which is, of course, Richard Young, Mark Ashley, and Lucy Openshaw. And it's weird that a concept which I had obviously back in December in it's really getting a lot of people interested.
Yeah, but it brings out the sort of personalities around the sort of either like the people or the promotions or whatever sort of the charities or whatever the sort of background is around it. So it's all good, all good.
100%, 100%. So yeah, enough rambling on. Before we obviously get into main event, anyway, let's talk about obviously some wrestling news and stuff like that. And where shall we begin, mate?
At the beginning.
Let's talk about AEW, shall we? Let's talk about AEW
So do we have to?
Dynamite. Yes, I mean we've got to obviously bide some time somehow. I've seen this clip I'm talking about with John Moxley and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I've got to be honest, I've never ever screamed so much in my life. I mean, what the hell were they thinking?
yeah, fucking moron. That's all I've got to say about that. You know, like I get like people like that sort of stuff. but it's not for me. You
Not
know,
at
it's
all. Did you see the actual close up of it as well? It's like it's actually
yeah,
impaled.
you know, and he's twisting it. Wheeler Yuta's twisting it like a muppet. You know, what was it? And then he jumps out of the ring. They go do his spot, and then eventually the referee pulls it out. You know, you see the clips online. It's actually longer. You know, because I've obviously cut it up. You know, if you
Hmm.
watched it live, it was just moronic. Anybody says any different, you know, is what was it? Sorry, it really is. It was and I sort of said that online as well, and like it's quite interesting because it was that group of fans, so the sort of hardcore, they like to go bang on about like, why can't we just have everything like wrestling be liked and things like that. As soon as you see anything out with their sort of like that they don't approve of, they become really nasty and really shitty, you know. Um, so it brings out the hypocrisy in people as well, you know. But what was it? To me, that's not wrestling at all. And people were harking back, like try to justify it because ECW did it and things like that. And says, well, ECW didn't do anything like that, you know, didn't put anybody's life at risk. Some at the moment, what was it? Somebody's going to die in an ECW ring, and it's not going to be good, you know. Um,
No, exactly. And do you know what I mean? It's just absolutely ridiculous and stuff like that. I mean, what are they doing, man? Do you know what I mean? What the hell are they doing?
they've got nothing. They're so enamored with this. What was it? Alternative sort of thing, you know. What was it? Like way of doing things, you know. Like what's Edge doing as well? I mean, the guy's he's another fucking idiot, you know, for agreeing to do it, you know. What was it? Especially with what he's been through.
Hmm.
He's back, you know. Just stupid. It's not wrestling to me at all whatsoever. It's like I get there's people that love the sort of like ECW, or they use the reference to say like CCW or whatever. Where are they? They're gone. You know,
Hmm.
where are the wrestlers? Most of the fucking wrestlers are dead or injured. Seriously, you know. What was it? What was it? It's just that was it. That should tell you a story why you shouldn't be doing stuff like this. You know. Um, People brought up Mick Foley when we were sort of discussing it in the chats as well. Um, Again, like he never did anything as stupid as that. What was it, to land on a bat with nails in it? You know. What was it called? Yeah, he done silly sort of stuff, which is again that argument doesn't flow in because I'm always like, no, that's not my sort of thing. You know. Um, what was it called? And a lot of people brought up the Hell in a Cell.
Yep.
Like like the fall isn't as big as people think. It's just perspective of cameras. You know, if you go to a wrestling show and you'll see how high up it would have been. You know, they've actually jumped higher now. And what was it? The second bump where he actually got hurt was actually a botch. It was an injury. He banged his head off the metal tile. Sort of went loose, and he ended up banging the back of his head off it. That's why he got hurt. It wasn't to do with the fact that he took that bump. You know, shouldn't have been taking bumps like that anyway. But still, it's no justification. But to me, it's just what was it? Looking like this is the same people that say, "Oh, well, wrestling's progressed. It's now like you should respect the fact that it's moved into a modern world." And yet, when it's convenient for them, they try to hark back to what happened in the past, you know, to try and justify, you know, well, nobody said then, you know, yeah, that was what, nearly 35 years ago,
And that's
you
what
know,
fucks me off as well. I mean,
yeah,
people obviously we know in certain chats and stuff like that. They obviously say the same thing. They try and justify it and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what are you doing? You're just really going to lose every time.
yeah, yeah, exactly, you know, a lot of the sort of peers in wrestling, you know, I've said the same thing. Everybody goes on about like, so one of the other ones that people say, like, what was it? Well, John Moxley did all this sort of stuff previously. Where's all the scars that he had? You know, go look at what was it? Go look at some of the guys from CCW and things like that. There's a reason why his body hasn't scarred like the other ones because he sort of refrained from doing some of the more idiotic stuff. You know, so come at me to say that it's stuff that he normally does, because it's not. And the fact that
It's
he's doing it now is stupid, considering he's got a young family as well,
Yeah, and what frustrates me more is this is on national television and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I could accept it if it was almost like a pay-per-view, but this is a national television. Somebody, I think it was James Romero and Stephen Richards, actually, pointing this out. Where
Yeah.
was this actually? Where was this match placed on the card?
Yeah. It wasn't even the main event, It was
I think it was the second hour. I think they said and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But what was the main event?
Oh God. It's slipped my mind. You need to remind me.
It's Chris Statler and Megan Bain.
Oh
So
yeah.
these people's
Yeah.
got to go out there knowing what happened before it. It's just absolute fucking ludicrous.
2 seconds. I need to remind myself. Sorry, my head's all kerfuffled with this head cold.
That's
Try to
fine.
remember.
Let me have a look, see if I can obviously confirm it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we are live, but don't worry about it. Cage match, where are you? Right, there we go. We're on cage match now, so I can find out.
Yeah. You also had the sort. I mean, it's not as severe as, but still fucking absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
sorry. So after that actual match was Will Ospreay and AR Fox with Megan Bain and Chris Statlander. So they were the two matches which obviously followed.
Yes. So if you go and watch the Will Ospreay AR Fox with the stupid stuff they were doing in that match as well, what was it, that all the acrobatic sort of nonsense? What a pile of shite, handstand. What was it? What was it? Tearing off. What was it? Sort of handstands, to block moves. What absolute, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, let's obviously switch gears here and stuff like that. Now, obviously, 7 o'clock our time was obviously WWE Raw, and we were obviously all watching it and stuff like that. And we got the first heel promo from John Cena, which I think it was like 20 something minutes. I think it went on for absolute ages. But let's be honest, that crowd was absolutely hostile as fuck.
Yeah, it was. What was it? Obviously, they're over in Europe just now. So what was it? The crowd's hot anyway. But yeah, what was it called? It was a very, very interesting long promo. I actually thought at one point he wasn't going to say anything. I thought he was just going to come out and just go to say something and get fed up and walk away. And it looked like he was going to do it at one point, And this was like 10 minutes in, I think. The crowd just absolutely booing. What was it called? Eventually starts the promo, which was one of the great promos in wrestling. Bit timid for a heel promo, if I'm being honest. From my perspective, it was still really good. What was it called? You sort of want to come out and start cursing and telling people that they're assholes and things like that, what was it called? That's what you sort of want, but it's not going to happen, You don't want too much cursing. Too much cursing in a promo is not necessarily, but you want them to talk like adults, talk like an adult. So
there was one kid who actually pointed out, and I think that kid looked like he wanted to cry.
Yeah, which is the whole point of the show.
Yeah, the reason obviously I bring this up in particular here is because obviously on Monday, is it this Monday or next Monday? I do believe they're in Scotland.
Yep, they're in Scotland on Monday. So
your crowd better bring your A game after that one.
Oh, we will bring our A game. It'll be good. I mean, there's a rumor that there's a rumor going about that Rock might be one of the shows. I think it'll be the London show because he's too much of a pussy to come to Scotland.
Is that because he's scared of you guys? I'd be fucking scared
of
to be
guys.
honest.
But was exactly. He hasn't got the balls to come to Scotland and get booed out the building because he would, yeah, we'll have Cena, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
One of the things we obviously talked about, Annie, obviously in the chat as well, is Cody needs to be on his A game when it comes to the promo side because Cena's really good on the mic, and I've got to be honest, on Monday he did hold his own.
Yeah, what was it? I don't think Cena's in full force though. And maybe, and that's what I don't want Cena to do. I don't want Cena to be a bit more reserved about it because he knows like Cody's limitations. Like you're right, Cody did held his own. What was it there? But on the flip side to that, on the flip side to that, what was it? You know, John's just sitting in second gear at the moment. He's not fully got out of where he can possibly be, and I don't think Cody's got that acumen to sort of keep up with that. John's very natural with the way he speaks, you know. But was Cody's very theatrical with the way he speaks. So it'll be interesting to see where they sort of go with it.
Yeah, well, definitely remains to be seen. Like I said, they're in Scotland. What time is it obviously air in Scotland?
I think it starts at 8 o'clock.
Right, okay, that's fine.
Yep. Was it? You're going to hate me. The doors just went. Can I jump off for 2 seconds? And,
right. So what I'll do is I'll hit the mid-session interval and stuff like that, and then obviously promote some stuff while you come back.
Every time every time. Right. Okay. Bye. I'm back in a minute.
Okay. Here's the mid-session interval.
Oh, it isn't time for going slow. Oh, the greatest flow to know is what's within. Is what's within. Is what's within. Oh, the fouler wind hath blown now, and onwards round all that we know. Great monsters hide inside halos, with jackals disguised down below. Oh, don't it mean to see them when shadows have faded? And the lion's been those pastures predicted in scrolls. Hey, don't let wandering family glory.
Sorry, I'm dancing to that song. So yeah, if people obviously want to go check that out, we'll put all the links to their promotions in the description and stuff like that. Go check them out. Go check obviously the promotions and stuff. Support British wrestling and stuff like that because we are fans. There's no British wrestling and stuff like that. Annie, are we back yet? I guess he isn't. So not really much I can do, to be honest with me, until obviously he gets back. But yeah, another thing, obviously, as well, waiting for Haney as well, is the Hot Tag Foundation and stuff like that. This is obviously a foundation that we obviously support here at the Magic of Wrestling. Links are obviously all in our link tree. Go check them out again. Do you know what I mean? Go support them because, like I said, you've just got to reach out and stuff. And yeah, absolutely, man. Do you know what I mean?
Hello.
Hello. It's fine.
That's the last thing I needed was to go about rushing about to catch my breath.
Not to worry. I mean, I managed to obviously plug all the other socials and stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
So, Ernie, are we ready to get into the main event?
Yeah, I suppose. Let's try it.
Here we go.
The main event.
I always forget what game that is.
Oh, that is. Is it main event? I'll figure it out. I think it is main event. I think it is the main event. I think that's the name of it. The game. I think it's maybe Temco. I think.
No worries. Yeah, no worries. But yeah,
sorry, I'm out of breath.
that's fine. So, Annie, obviously, I gave you a little experiment to do because I wanted to see how much information someone can find out based on a promotion and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So, I think, was it last week? When did I actually give you the thing? Was it the Monday?
Yeah, it was a Monday. Yeah, so I've had quite a bit of time to sort of go over it. So, what was it? Yeah, so hopefully we can sort of. don't embarrass myself, and don't embarrass you in the process.
No, it's absolutely fine. I mean, that's the whole point of this. You know what I mean? We're obviously learning because, like I said, I've always said as wrestling fans, we're always learning.
Definitely, and it's always good to learn about new promotions and things like that. Because what was it? You get to know like the wrestlers, and you get to see the local wrestlers as well as the wrestlers you get to see up and down the country as well, which is pretty much the same with this one as well. You get, obviously there's local names I've never heard of, but there's also like names that I have, so that's really good.
Okay, so we'll obviously run through it slowly, bit by bit, and stuff like that. Now,
Yeah.
the promotion we're talking about, of course, is wrestling in Newcastle and
Yep.
stuff like that. Now, what was the first thing you obviously found out?
So obviously, what was it? Looking at it, there's quite a few promotions in Newcastle, so obviously I need to make sure that I was getting the right one. I think North is the big one in Newcastle. So
Correct.
What was it called? That's not to demean anything about what was it, Wrestling Newcastle at all. It's a relatively new company, but it's obviously got what was it, a different sort of vibe to it, a bit like BCW here. Obviously, we've got ICW up here and things like that. What was it, and sort of Bleedy Gums and things like that. But this one's a bit more family orientated, like BCW. So there's no sort of blood and guts stuff, because there's sort of kids in the audience, and what was it? One of the sort of things you sort of take from that is the fact that it's obviously family orientated, What was it? It's obviously based in Newcastle. They sort of kicked off the sort of promotion, I think, 2022. What was it? And they basically, what was it? They've got a number of sort of venues that they sort of have participated in, sort of one social clubs. What was it? Adrian Leisure Centre and things like that. And I think they've got a big one coming up on there as well. So is it Bulletproof? Which is one of the big
So
sort
just
of
to
shows.
obviously take a few steps back in,
Yes.
so we're not obviously jumping the gun and stuff like that. So
Yep.
you mentioned obviously the key one there is obviously North. Obviously that's North Wrestling. There's also MEW.
Yeah.
Now I want to focus a little bit on the name first. Wrestling in Newcastle.
Yeah.
There is a
Is that-
backstory to that. Do you have any ideas how that works?
No, I wasn't like that caused a bit of confusion for me as well, because you were doing wrestling. You were searching for doing a bit of research on like wrestling in Newcastle. I was bringing up all the promotions in Newcastle. Because it was telling me what wrestling was in Newcastle. So
Yeah. So to
I
add a
didn't
little
want
bit
to-
of context as to why the name come about, I only know this because obviously I talked to the owners and stuff like that. Is when you actually search wrestling in Newcastle and stuff like that, that's the actual first thing that comes up.
Yeah, very clever.
There you go. Do you know what I mean? So that's the whole little premise and stuff like that.
A nice like a marketing thing, and they've got a nice sort of simple and effective logo as well, which is really good. So what was it? Sort of can we sort of what do you call it? What was it? Predict what colours they use in their logo? Probably.
Yeah, we probably could and stuff like that. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about obviously about the venues and stuff like that. So you mentioned obviously the Forest Hall Social Club. That's obviously one of their venues.
Yep.
Now, I always remember there's a big debate about obviously taking kids to like social clubs and stuff like that. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, you're probably the same. You can remember as a wee kid, what was it, trying to bangle a wee shandy, when you're in a social club, what was it called? And you had that, yeah, I mean, you might have been the guy, but you also had that sort of cousin that used to run about all the tables trying to nick a beer, what was it called? But no issue with it. Sort of grew up. What was it? In one, so it is what it is, isn't it? It's not a bad thing, I don't think. Especially if you're spending time in the community. You've got it's great for community as well, because you get families and all that probably live in the same street with the kids and things like that, so they can all go to the show together, and they can just chill out, and have a blast,
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I've been to the Forest Hall Social Club, and the venue itself is terrific. I mean, I just want to put a special shout out to the staff there. Do you know what I mean? Really, really helpful. Do you know what I mean? Really polite and stuff like that. The only downside for me, which I think a lot of people struggle with, so it's not just me, is the parking.
Okay.
Where it's actually situated, it's like there's not really much parking and stuff like that. But once you get obviously the parking sorted, do you know what I mean? Incredible venue. Do you know what I mean? Incredible thing. Do you know, absolutely incredible.
no, that's what you want. You know, you want to, and you want to be safe as well. You know, what was it? So you can sort of control who goes in and out. You know, so I'm guessing the people involved in wrestling with the Newcastle. I'm guessing this is their home base. I've seen that more often or not. Obviously, they've played a couple more venues, or hosted in a couple more venues, but I'm guessing this is their home base.
So the Forest Hall is obviously their main, venue, and then the Adrian Leisure Centre, which you talked about there, that's kind of like let's say their WrestleMania type thing.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I think that's just I jumped the gun, and I think that's coming up in April. You know, I might be wrong.
No, so the Bulletproof comes up is the Forest Hall.
Is it the Forest Hall? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and the only show which is at the Adrian Leisure Centre at the minute is Grand Slam.
Grand Slam. Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, I've been to, like I said, both venues and stuff like that. Yeah. The Leisure Centre is obviously a lot bigger and stuff, but I mean, it's a Leisure Centre, clues in the name and stuff, but it's really good, you know what I mean? So, what else did you find out?
So, obviously, their main shows, I found out about their main shows. The main shows, and the first one was, obviously Past, which was the great North Rumble. So we can guess what that was, you know. What was it? Rumble style sort of pay-per-view. I think that what was it? I've seen some of the matches from that. What was it? Just having a quick look on YouTube. Bulletproof, which is the one that's coming up. What was it called? What was it? You had sort of what was it? Settle the Score, and the other one in the summer is Summertime. What was it? What was it? And then obviously the one I'm guessing the one you say is what was it? Is after that, you know, the Grand Slam one. So, what was it called at the end of the year? So, yep.
Yeah, the weird thing is, I mean, I love the names. Like Summertime, I thought it was Summertime, and then I had to look again, realizing what the word was referring to. It's a nice little play on words.
Yeah, it's nice, you know.
But yeah, I mean, so the venue, obviously shows were as followed: Brawl at the Hall, Summertime Showdown, Gauntlet for the Gold, the Great North Rumble, Settle the Score, which is obviously what I've been to, Summertime Showdown, Grand Slam, which we talked about, and obviously essentially the mix and match and stuff like that. For you, obviously, as an outsider looking in, does the name stick out to you as a fan?
No, definitely. You know, the sound, what was it? And it's very sort of location oriented as well. Sort of the Great North Rumble. So you think of the Great North, you think of the Great North Run. You know, what was it? My first introduction to sort of the Great North Run was when I was at school, and I was a little TV show called Geordie Racer. I don't know if anybody remembers it. Geordie Racer. It's about a wee guy that liked pigeons. Don't know if you know about that one, Liam.
I don't know. That's a bit before my time, that ain't it?
I think it was a wee bit before my time, but it was still being shown.
I probably didn't watch it then.
Yeah, but what was it? You know, so obviously there's that. So as soon as I read about that, I was singing Geordie Racer in my head. You know, and you send you a link to it. What was it? You know, so and then obviously playing Wordsworth at the time and things like that. You know, do you have I couldn't find a story behind some of the other ones like Bulletproof and things like that. Do you know the story behind some of the sort of pay-per-view names?
I'd have to ask Stevie Aaron for that, because I know he obviously works behind the scenes. He might not even tell me. Sometimes he never does. In fact, I'm going to ask him now, see if he's actually online. What's the story behind the name Bulletproof? So, but yeah, please continue.
Yeah, and that's something I thought about doing, is messaging their Facebook, because every promotion, and then I thought, no, that's cheating. You know, I want to try and, I think the intent of the assignment was to try and find out what I could through Google, you know. What was it, rather than just going directly to ask somebody, you know, because that would have been an easy task, you know. So that's quite fun. So we've already established that what was it? We've already established that they were formed in 2022. What was it? There was nothing really of like
23,
22 or 23. Was
23.
Okay, sorry. I put down 22. What was it called? I think. Okay, yeah, okay. So let me just check. You know.
That's fine. Carry on.
Sorry, I took down notes. I'm making sure that I'm not talking shit.
Whether you know what I mean. This is not about obviously whether you're wrong or not. This is just obviously
You know.
finding. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. For some reason, I've definitely got 2022 all the way through what I was sort of finding. So maybe that was when maybe there was some sort of like that was when they were sort of putting the plans together and they didn't run their first show to. Yeah. So I do apologise, guys, if I've got that wrong.
No, so you I just want to correct it because I'm just looking at Cage Match now. So yeah, they obviously were founded in 2022, but the first show wasn't until 2023.
Okay, yeah. So Cage Match is where I would have found my where it was found. So, so yeah, okay.
That's fine, but yeah. So one thing I obviously pointed out as well is the ticket pricing and stuff like that. Now we know as fans what the average ticket price, especially for a family show, £10 a ticket or 4 for 30 quid. For you as a fan, what does that feel like?
That's awesome. You know, especially when you can take the whole family with you. Or an annoying, what was it? An annoying. But if you've got one kid, you can take an annoying nephew or niece. You know, they want to go to wrestling to expel some energy. Because let's just face it. Let's face it. These family shows, you know, the kids just run wild and have an absolute ball. You know, you know, up in Scotland is a bit different. I think the adult shows are a bit more PG than the kid family friendly ones because the kids really know they're like the kids now will teach you words that you've never heard up here, you know. So
I just want to ask you, Ian, you don't have to go into like details as to why. So that ticket price there, how does that stack up when it comes to a BCW? Is it much difference? You don't have to go into like specific wise.
It's a bit cheaper.
Oh,
you
okay.
know. Bear in mind as well though, what was it? The further north you go, it's probably more expensive because the guys are on the road a lot longer. And what was it called? There is a lot of talent comes from down south, you know. So what was it? I think it's all reasonable, you know. What was it? I would quite happily, well, what was it? Quite happily pay. What was it? Like 20 quid to go see a good wrestling show, you know. Because BCW is not that either. BCW is £12, you know. But was and then they sort of do a deal as well. So you can't beat it really, you know, the value. But yeah, I can understand because we're a bit further north than North Newcastle.
Not
They
to worry.
lied. It's not the Great North.
Dear. So one thing obviously I want to talk about as well is like obviously each on average a family show is like what 2 to 3 hours now. These are obviously around the 2 hour mark, which is really good from my point of view because you get these like quick and snappy matches because we know sometimes the attention span of like kids is not really the best.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you've got to keep them entertained, you know, and keep them buying pop and sweets from the sort of the stands that are there, you know. I'm sure they're big generators and obviously get the merch stands in the venues as well. I don't know. I'm guessing they do. So the way a sort of BCW show is constructed is you basically got what was it? You have the first. Well, they say it's two halves. They had the first half, and then what they do is they have about a half-hour break. What was it called? And then in that process, kids can go buy merchandise and things like that, or sweets or pop or whatever. And then what was it? So they sell raffle tickets, okay. And then you have the second half, but just before the main event, they usually do the raffle to see who's won. You know, Fiona's been fortunate; she's won a few times. You know, so we've got some fun stuff out of that. Won DVDs and mugs, and one of the first time Fiona's not really not really. She isn't a drinker. You know, so. What was it? One of the first times we went up, there was a nice case, like a basket with wine and things like that on it. You know, somebody sort of thing with a more adult sort of raffle. And it was a tin of like Haribo. And Fiona's like, obviously, Fiona got picked out first. You know, everybody's like, oh, great, the alcohol's gone. You know, Fiona. Happy as Larry with Haribo.
So let's talk about obviously the talent pool. What did you discover?
Yeah, 2 seconds of bringing up my notes again. So I'm flicking between certain things. I've got so obviously, in terms of stuff what I've seen in events, they've got a lot of talent that, well, let's be honest, are very common in all the promotions. So what was it? We've talked about them quite a few times, but Angel Hayes, she's everywhere. What was it? Casey Owens as well. And there's Lana Austin. What was it called?
Ruby Roberts is another one here.
Was she? I've never seen that one. Sorry.
Lana Austin, one of the first shows, she was up against Lana, and I know obviously Ruby's obviously Scotland way.
Yeah. What was it? You've got Rampage Brown. It's sort of there. You've got Levy, who's in BT Gun, or like a staple in Scotland as well. So I think Levy's got he's in the. I think I might be wrong. I think he might be in the championship match in BBC coming up. I might be wrong.
He's also which I didn't realise this until I interviewed him. He's one of the coaches for Iron Girders. Yeah.
They're really tight there, and I'm guessing it's the sort of same, so what was it called? I mean, you've got these sort of, things, but it's great. You've also got like, what was it, Isaac North and things like that there as well, so what was it called? So some of these names have come up to Scotland, so it's definitely names there that what was it you see up and down the country, which is always good to see them sort of in that sort of different environment.
And what about talent though you've obviously never seen before? Is there any talent where you stuck out for you which you've never seen?
Yeah, so what was I've never seen Keg Stacker, so I've never seen that, what was it I've never seen Geo Knox, so I need to check out that guy. What was it? I'm trying to think who else. What was it? I've been stupid if I haven't done a great amount of sort of names with that. I've sort of pinpointed the ones that I sort of know and looked at sort of alimony and sort of things like that, So, what was it? I think, what was it called? That Brad Phillips. I think he's there as well.
It's Brady Phillips, but yeah.
Why have I put Brad Phillips? Sorry.
He's the actual main champion, but it's Brady Phillips.
Yeah. What was it called? He's just known as brand. We use our eyes for saying hello and yes, so you don't get to have a Y at the end of your name in Scotland. Sorry.
That's fine, not to worry.
What was it called? So what was it? They were the sort of ones that sort of stand out, but yeah, definitely fun.
Yeah, one thing I like as well is, for me, I mean, one of the person I recently discovered was obviously Levy and stuff like that. That's why I wanted to get him on the show and stuff. Yeah. And that's one thing I like about this actual promotion as a whole is there's always them new talent which you've never seen before, which you obviously you discover.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you just, that's it. When you get a sort of name and you sort of see what they are. Like Angel Hayes is an example of that. What was it? Nikki Cross was an example of that in the past for me. Seen somebody starting out, to where they are just now. Kaylee Ray. So never be dismissive of people. What was it? Of people there. There's I remember seeing Will Ospreay. I mean, this is going back a while. Will Ospreay versus BT Gunn. I think it was like, God, it must have been 10 years ago, and he was about like 100 pounds soaking wet. He could wrestle then, unfortunately. But all good.
And I just want to point out, by the way, the latest show they uploaded, which was the Great North Rumble from January. Casey Owens does obviously face Angel Hayes in that show.
Yeah. I mean, they seem to face each other a lot in various places for good reason, because their matches are absolutely awesome, So, if you've never seen Angel Hayes and Casey Owens, and you get a chance to see both of them in the ring together, you're in for a treat.
100%.
What was it called? And the Fed guys, like, obviously the chap that was in the Gladiators, he's been up here as well. You've had Robbie X, you know,
Yep.
what was it called? So it is sort of your sort of what was it, typical sort of what was it, UK promotion, which is good. You sort of want that to go enjoy. You know, we've talked about it. If you've never went to see a sort of local wrestling company for a promotion, then and you're looking for a good night out, and your kids are into wrestling, then I can sort of recommend it enough. You know, you'll have an absolute blast.
100%. What did you think to like the online exposure? Like, obviously, where they conduct themselves, obviously on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So they don't have a website of their own, but I don't think that's an issue. I don't think having a website is necessarily sort of what was it important. I think they do their tickets through Eventbrite. So if you're wanting tickets for any of the shows, you know, you'll find them on Eventbrite. What was it called? What was it? But obviously they've got a YouTube channel. They've got what was it? Twitter, and they've got Instagram. So they've got. They basically it's basically just keeping you up to date of what's coming up and what the cards are and things like that. So it's everything that you sort of expect from sort of social media.
100%, 100%. And you mentioned obviously the YouTube channel and stuff like that. Now they do post all their shows in their full entirety online and stuff like that. And if you notice, I don't know if you noticed this, but they're always around the 2-hour mark, except from Grand Slam.
Yeah, what was it? Which is a good sit down to watch. You know, what was it? I'm a fan of shows that don't go on too long. When I went to what was it? I went to sort of Clash at the Castle last year, and it was like 5 matches, and somebody says to me, "Was it just 5 matches?" Like EW does. I says, "No, that was perfect." You know, like I went to All In. You're in there at 5 o'clock, and you leave at what was it, you left at sort of 20 to 11. You know, it was a long hard slog. You know, of just sitting watching wrestling.
Yeah. So talk about obviously, because I imagine you've obviously watched some of the YouTube stuff.
Yeah, very much similar to what we sort of get in sort of BCW. You know, sorry I keep on bringing that up because that's my reference. You know, but I think that's a good thing. You know, because if you ever want to go see a good wrestling show, then both of them are putting on really solid matches and things like that. So great fun.
Yeah, I mean,
they've got a bit more of a. What I would say though, I think they've probably got a bit more of a sort of bit more regular and bit more like structured sort of like events and things like that, you know, and where it's sort of going to go. It's very organised, whereas what was it? BCW is more of a sort of like they put on the shows regular, but there's no emphasis on what necessarily has been on in the past events, even though they've got their champions and things like that. This one's sort of certainly sort of got a sort of structure to it that they're trying to get to somewhere with each show and each event, you know, which is really good. You know, because it can keep people engaged.
So that's interesting. So sorry, Stevie Aaron's has obviously responded back to my message because we asked what the name was behind your Bulletproof. It's actually the world champion's nickname.
Sorry, was it based on the movie?
No, it's basically. Do you know the world champion Brad Phillips, as you called him?
Yes.
It's basically his nickname, which I completely forgot about. Well, okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah, so it's his pay-per-view. So he's like rocking it up with like a SmackDown.
Yeah, he's basically the champion, right?
Yeah. So does that mean when they get a new champion, then the champion gets the pay-per-view name?
I don't know, but that's really interesting when you think about it.
That's a good idea.
It is actually, isn't it?
Yeah. I was thinking of was it Vin Diesel film or something like that, you know?
It's really interesting. I'm really surprised at that, actually. Dear, I forgot where we were now. What were we talking about?
We were talking about, can't remember what we're talking about. You're asking me,
the production side.
Yeah. So it's definitely solid, and they've got what was it? Good. It's very watchable, you know, on YouTube. So I would recommend you go and watch it. You know, so what was it? Most definitely, what was it? Worthwhile checking out.
100%, 100%. Obviously, I want to balance this out and stuff like that. So, with everything, obviously, you've researched and stuff like that, is there anything, and you can be honest as the beginning, we're not going to judge you or anything, mate. Is there anything you looked and you're going, I'm not too sure about that?
Not at all. The only thing that got me like it was a bit confusing is what was it? I was picking up sort of things and what was it? Then you'd realise it was like one of the other promotions. So obviously what was it? You've got I think the big promotion in Newcastle, we can be honest about, is the North Wrestling, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What was it called? What was it? Definitely, they're not sort of chasing that sort of same spotlight. There are different types of shows as well. This one's more family orientated, you know. What was it? What was it? They've got their socials, so I'm guessing at the moment they're sort of building up that word of mouth sort of thing because it is a community promotion, you know. What was it? I'm guessing they've got aspirations to be bigger, but what was it? Even though you sort of said like the reason they're called Wrestling of the North was because they were like the first at the top. You can find a bit more about the other Newcastle promotions. What was it? But again, that's just longevity, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely spot on and stuff like that. Now, the owner's probably going to watch this, Haney, and stuff like that. So, if you could deliver him a message, Joe, what would you say to him?
Just, I mean, for me, just keep doing what you're doing. You know that what was it? I enjoy watching the type of wrestling that you put on. What was it? You probably get that from if you starting off at the beginning. I mean, we were talking about Moxley. I'm not a fan of like silly stuff in the ring. You know, what was it called? What was it? What I would say to people round about are thinking about going to the show is, please go to one of their shows soon because there's. I mean, I'm sure there's people there to replace them, but there's a few names there. But was it come a year and a half from now? You're not going to be able to get them to see. You're not going to be able to see them for that great value of a tenner, you know, because some of the talent that's out there just now in the UK scene is going places, you know. What was it? And definitely they're going to lose some of their names as well, you know, that are at their shows because you know we want every wrestler to succeed, but there's a few there that I think are just something special, you know. So yeah,
100%. Would you actually go to a show if you could?
I would think about it. Yeah, definitely. And Newcastle's always a great place to go to, you know. What was it? Used to go to Newcastle all the time for a night out. What was it?
Is it actually a distance for you to get to?
Well, it's a bit of a train journey, but there's nothing wrong with that, you know. What was it called? Don't mind that. You know, used to do it every weekend for a while. You know, when I was young and stupid. Now I'm just stupid.
Well, you said that, not me. Now, Annie, obviously, as we're 50 odd minutes in, can you believe that obviously all this information you've obviously found out just from the name alone? So, how crucial for you when it comes to wrestling is an actual wrestling promotion's name?
It can be fun, you know. What was it? Especially it was but it also what was the good one about this? It's very distinct, you know. We've mentioned it before, North Wrestling. Although it's in Newcastle, you know, what was it? To me, North is what was it? Dundee and Inverness and Aberdeen and you know. But I'm being facetious there. I'm joking. Everybody knows that the Great North is Newcastle, you know. So what was it called? What was it? So it sort of stands out straight away. What was it? As a sort of promotion name, and it is important as well. One is an acronym, can I beat it as well, you know. So great stuff. But it is important that you have a good name for your promotion, you know.
Even those 3 letters are wrestling in Newcastle, which obviously shortens to win, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, that's definitely just having that sort of acronym, you know, just to shorten it really works well, you know, because we're winning.
Like I always says, like to like with friends at work and stuff like that. Oh, I'm off to win. What?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm off to wrestling in Newcastle. What, you wrestling? No, I'm off to the promotion. Gets me every time.
Yeah. So what was it? What? Yeah. No, definitely. It's a great sort of conversation starter, isn't it? You know, I'm off to win. No.
So we've got 5 minutes left, my man. Is there anything else, obviously, you've all found
So
out, or anything to summarise?
so what was it? So what I found out is that locally they might be like pulling like sort of like people from, is it the FTW Academy in Walkergate? You know,
Oh, I didn't
uh,
find this out. This is new to me.
yeah, I might be wrong. I might be wrong. You know, what was it? I was trying to find out a wee bit about the school and all that. You know, um, so yeah, what was it? What was it? So I think it's along the same sort of lines as what was it? What was it? BT Guns sort of thing up here, from what I read. So I need to do a wee bit more research into it. I was going to do it today, but obviously I was feeling absolutely terrible. So I do apologise, but that was where I sort of got to in my sort of research. Was because I was sort of intending to find out where some of the sort of talent was coming from, because we know where it in Scotland is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What was it called? 2 seconds. I'll just what was it? See if I can pull up the.
Can you send me the link for that just so I can have a look? Because this is new to me.
Yeah, so I'll send you the link to it. You know, but that was this sort of what was it? I think it's a promotion as well, but Anger does is a bit like that as well. You know, but I think that's the sort of school that's sort of there and in the sort of training place. You know, what was it? Yeah, so I'll send that link to you. What was it? So apparently it's called what was it? Full Tilt Wrestling Academy. So I'll send you the details to that. And what was it? Again, I think it is, because as we can imagine, we know what colours they're using as a logo.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that, because obviously that's something new to me. And then, like I said, I mean, we're always learning. It might not be correct, but like I said, this is the whole premise of today's show, Haney, and stuff.
No, definitely. It's
So,
all good.
obviously, to summarise, mate, I was to finish off and stuff. Are you going to, not are you, do you know what I mean? That's probably the wrong terminology and stuff like that. Is this a promotion which you're going to obviously keep following?
No, definitely. It'd be interesting to sort of see. Because there's obviously names there that I haven't seen. You know, but was it the good, maybe the good or bad thing about the UK scene is a lot of names are on a lot of the names are all in the same, a lot of the same names that are in different promotions now as well. You know, even stuff that are very sort of like, they might look like initially being part of a local promotion, but they're spreading out. You know, so definitely keeping an eye on some of the sort of talent, because it's always good to sort of see the up and coming stuff. You know, as well. I think that's so important. I think, especially, and we've talked about it before, I think what was it? The same thing happened in sort of 2018, 2019. I think a raid's coming into the UK scene of like taking talent away to the States. What was it? What was it? Because you need that sort of natural cycle of people wanting to be more like go out and what was it? Do tours and things like that. Like, I know Daz Black he was over in Thailand and things like that. And I think he was going to be doing other places. You know, so. What was it? The girls got a lot of opportunity to go over to sort of places like Japan and things like that, I think, which is good. So what was it? Definitely keeping an eye on who's coming up, you know, because you want to have that sort of next set of wrestlers you can follow.
100%, 100%. So we'll obviously wrap up today's show, Henry, because I know obviously you still feel a bit under the weather. So
Yeah.
people obviously listening want to go check out Wrestling in Newcastle. You can do that by many ways. You can head to Facebook, type in Wrestling in Newcastle. Their Facebook page will be there. You can head to YouTube, obviously their socials and everything. Every single show now they've obviously recorded is obviously on their YouTube channel. They're around 2 hours. I think Grand Slam's about 2.5 hours. And yeah, like Haney said there, do you know what I mean? A week ago, you didn't know about this promotion.
No, I didn't. You know, and now I know. I think I know. I think I did all right. I don't think I embarrassed myself too much.
No, but that's obviously the thing is, it was more about obviously learning and stuff like that. And for people obviously listening, do you know what I mean? If you want to try it out with your friends, you know what I mean? Pick a promotion, just set them, look, see how much information you can find out. I mean, look at Haney, do you know what I mean? He's found out absolute,
Yeah.
you know, super loads.
You know, and I'm an idiot. You know, let's be honest, guys. I'm a complete idiot. So if I can do it, everybody can.
So yeah, guys, obviously, thank you obviously so much for watching. If you obviously carry on and watch the show, you can head to the Magic of Wrestling on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all socials are there. The Magic of Wrestling, obviously, on YouTube. There's no show, obviously, next Saturday. I think we're going to need to have a breather here, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Try and recover.
Yeah, and stuff like that. But then, of course, the week after that, Mr. Isaacs obviously will be back from his alien abduction. Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, it was. What was it? Hopefully he's enjoyed that. So we'll get the full details from him when he comes back. How the sort of alien probing went.
Absolutely. Annie, do you want to do the outro or shall I do it?
You do it. Although I will just say, thanks, guys. For putting up with me today, because I've been very under the weather and sniffly, and hopefully I didn't come across as too much of a sort of thunderhead.
Okay, so yeah, thank you so much, obviously, for watching. Hopefully, we didn't obviously Wrestling in Newcastle proud and stuff like that. We will be doing obviously a follow up to this one with our friend James, he's never ever seen obviously the UK scene. We're going to give him 10 wrestlers completely at random. This is going to be later on in the year and see what he can find out. I'm kind of scared for this, to be honest with you.
No, that'll be good. Especially what was it? I mean, that's a bit of a mighty task as well. There's so many great promotions in the UK, so I look forward to that.
Yeah, so we're going to give him 10 random wrestlers. I probably might even get people obviously to pick 10 and then take it from there. So yeah, cheers for watching, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you very soon.